Techniques today to help calm down that central nervous system, and these techniques you can apply any time of your day that you're feeling a little riled up, that your stress levels are starting to rise. It could be when you're at your office and things are just starting to get a little bit overwhelming. If you are waiting for the kids, after school, or you're in that school lineup and the traffic is just a nightmare. If you are at home and the kids are screaming in the background, whatever it may be that starts getting your bubbles to boil, that water level boiling in your body, these techniques can help you really drop back into that parasympathetic mode. What I do find is there's a lot of information out there about how to, reset and calm that central nervous system, but to me they're not attainable enough, meaning that I can't sometimes drop on the staff room floor and start doing a meditation. I can't take some 15-minute massive big breaths to drop back into a parasympathetic mode, or those techniques that are absolutely brilliant and amazing for dropping you back into that calming state sometimes aren't that attainable. So I'm going to give you some really easy tips that you can do anywhere at any time. You won't look like a weirdo doing these, I promise. They're really easy, effective tools that are going to help reset, most importantly, the brain. So we're focusing on a little bit of resetting the most important area, which then drives that calming effect down the rest of the body. Technique number 1. We should be doing this quite often, because especially if you're sitting in front of a computer screen or your mobile phone or you're constantly in fluorescent lights, our eyes work so hard. They are such a big vital information and input into the brain, but they can become strained quite easily. So this is a technique that we should aim to do if we've been on the computer or on the phone for more than 20 minutes at a time. So all it is you're just going to keep your eyes open underneath your hands. You're going to cup your hands over your eyes to help reset your eyes in complete darkness. Just by doing this resets different neural pathways in the brain and will reduce that eye strain. So I'm going to show you here. I'm going to cup. I'm not going to press my eyeballs. I'm going to cup like that. My eyes are open underneath here, but all I should be able to see is darkness. And you will notice that if you have a little bit of flashes of light or some weird colors, formations, you want to make sure that all you can see is complete darkness, and you want to be doing this for a good 30 seconds. Nice big deep breathing as you are doing that to reset those eyes. That is technique number 1. Technique number 2 is very similar to that, but it's for the ears, because we live in an extremely overwhelming and stimulating environment with noise. A lot of the time our auditory cortex is overstimulated just by very loud stuff. So we want to help the synapses to recover back to some gentle, light, soft noise, which is going to help reset that auditory process. So there are 2 things you can do. One is cup the ears, just like the eyes. Take out lots of sound, close the eyes. A couple of big deep breaths there. That should help reset. The other one is just get fingers, rub the fingers as close as you can to the ears, and just concentrate on that really light, soft sound that you hear by your fingertips rubbing your ears, next to your ears, and that should help reset that hearing as well. So number 3, we're going to reset the vagus nerve. Now this is a critical nerve. So it runs from the brain, down the neck, down the chest, and into the abdomen, connecting the brainstem to the body. So activating this nerve is like a soothing hug for your body. Now how we're going to activate this nerve is through a little bit of breathing techniques, but also through humming, because humming helps activate the vagus nerve. So all we're going to do is place our hands on our ribs here. So we're going to try and do a big 360-degree inhale through all of that different area of our stomach. So we're going to inhale. Now on the exhale, I'm obviously talking here, but on the exhale, you're going to hum all that air out. So we're going to inhale and then then take a big breath in again and go again, hum it all out. One more time. And then just take a couple of big deep breaths. Oh, that one is amazing. You might feel a little lightheaded because the vagus nerve does a lot in the brain stem, but it really does help to reset you on. That's one of my favorite ones. Yes, that one you might look like a weirdo in the office, but it's well worth it. You can do a gentle, soft, quiet hum as well. Number 4, we're actually going to start doing a little bit of breathing, but moving our thoracic area, which is our higher part of our back and our spine. Being at the office, you get neck office, back office, okay, you get really tight in the most vital part of the body, which is where the lungs and the heart sit underneath. So if we're restricted in this area, then we're going to have lots of tension and tightness through not only structurally, but internally through our breath and that elevation of cortisol and adrenaline as well, because we're not able to expand and breathe properly through this area. So what you're going to do is I want you to tuck your chin to the point where your fist is, okay, like that. Keep it there. Then I want you to push out the chest as you take a big breath in, and then depress it back as you breathe out, and then in again and out. Imagine someone's pulling you with a rope here, in, and pushing you back out. You can do this one sitting down as well on the chair. So in and out. Everything else is relaxed. That chin is tucked. You can do this one with your humming as well if you like. And it's just going to create some movement and motion through that really important area of that thoracic spine. Now the next one is an interesting one, but what this does is it drives sensory information to your brain. Now, the way your brain is designed is it's sensory before motor. So motor is movement, sensory is actually touch and feel and sensation. So in your brain, your lip area, your mouth and your lips and your hands have a massive amount of real estate in the brain. So we're going to use those two areas to help drive sensation into the sensory cortex. So the sensory cortex is the first area of the brain before it hits the motor cortex. We've got to make sure that's healthy information before we get better output from motor movement. So all you're going to do is get your fingernails, the top part of your fingernails, and rub it through your bottom lip. Nice and gently through that bottom lip. And it actually feels really calming and soft. So just close down the eyes. Just feel how smooth that is underneath the lip there. You can do it in between, like you could do it on the top lip. Make sure your hands are clean. Other side. Good, I'll come close so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm either going underneath or on top. And as you do it, take a couple of big deep breaths. You'll be really surprised how much that one resets that calming motion in your body. And our last one, as I said, we just did our sensory information, so now we'll move to our motor information. So if you're sitting in your desk, I want you to get up out of your desk, and all you're going to do is just wiggle out as much movement as you can. Nice and gently though. You're just standing on basically the feet, nice and sturdy, and you're just going to wiggle. You're going to bounce kind of up and down on the balls of the feet so that the heels are coming up and down off the floor, and you're just going to wiggle your hands. Nice soft knees. Wiggle everything out through that body just to get some vibration, to get some movement, and to get some drive up into your motor cortex. Relax there. Notice the input that's going to your brain now, which should feel quite calming. You should feel like a lot of energy running around the body as well. And just notice how you feel after those techniques. Another great technique is having a smell. Smell is one of the only things that doesn't cross the brain like sensory information does or motor information does. It tends to cross the brain. So if you have a smell, it's amazing because it will help drop you back into parasympathetic mode and drop you back into a memory or a moment just by that smell. If I can give you a tip, cover one nostril, smell with the right nostril because it'll go to the right side of the brain, and then smell with the left nostril because it'll go to the left side of the brain. And that is another really great tip as well. So I hope you enjoyed some of my little tips, some of my favorite ones. There's such simple and efficient, easy techniques that you can do during the day to help drop you into that rest and digest mode, that parasympathetic mode, get you out of wanting to punch someone in the face mode.